So, for this deep dive, we're looking at something that's claimed to be the fastest movement ever recorded in nature.
We're talking about the Peregrine Falcon.
Right, and the sources we've got here, they make this argument that it's not just a fast bird, it's closer to a piece of high-performance machinery.
It's a really fair comparison. I mean, when you just look at the raw numbers, we're talking speeds over 320 kilometers per hour.
That's 200 miles per hour.
Exactly. And at that point, it's not really biological flight anymore. It's more like ballistics.
Because muscle power can only get you so far, right? The drag, the air resistance would be immense.
You'd hit a biological wall. Flapping harder would actually just slow you down.
And that's where this maneuver comes in. The
Stoop.
The Stoop.
Yeah.
And it's the key to everything. They aren't flying, they're in a controlled fall.
Surrendering to gravity.
Pretty much. They tuck their wings in tight, reduce their surface area, and they basically become a teardrop shape, an aerodynamic bullet. But here's the thing that I can never quite get my head around with that comparison. A Formula One car goes that fast, but
you couldn't breathe.
Right. If I stuck my head out a window at that speed, the air pressure would be just insane.
You wouldn't be able to breathe at all. The air moves too fast for your lungs. It would either create a vacuum or, honestly, just damage the tissue.
Yet the Falcon does this all the time. The articles point to this one specific thing in their nostrils. They call them bony tubercles.
Yeah, and that name doesn't really do it justice. A better way to think of it is like the intake cone on a supersonic jet engine.
You mean that spike you see right in the center?
Exactly that principle. Those little bony cones in the Falcon's nose, they break up the shock waves from the incoming air.
So they slow the air down just enough for it to be breathable.
Without creating any real drag, it's a perfect high-pressure intake right in here.
And evolution built it millions of years before we even thought of a jet engine. That's wild.
It really is.
Okay, so let's talk about the guidance system. Because falling at 200 miles per hour is one thing.
Hitting a moving target at that speed is another thing entirely.
This is where the biology almost gets more impressive than the physics. The sources say a falcon can spot prey from over 3 kilometers away.
But spotting is the easy part. Tracking is what's hard.
I was reading about their flicker fusion frequency. It sounds like they don't see time the same way we do.
It's basically the refresh rate of your eye. For humans, it's about 60 hertz or 60 frames a second.
Which is why a movie looks like smooth motion.
Right. But the Falcon, it's processing vision at around 129 hertz. Double our rate.
So while we would just see a complete blur during that dive,
to them, it's a series of crisp, clear, distinct frames. They're literally seeing the world in slow motion compared to us.
Which would explain how they can make these tiny little adjustments to their path while moving faster than a race car.
It has to be that way. I mean, if they saw our speed, they'd miss the target every single time.
The irony is just, it's amazing. We spend billions developing this advanced aerospace tech.
And the whole time, the optimal design was just staring down at us from a cliff.
The notes mention Northrop Grumman specifically studying these birds for aircraft design.
They did. Especially for the B-2 Spirit bomber, the flying wing.
Because the Falcon doesn't use a vertical tail fin during the stoop.
A tail fin would just create drag. The Falcon is completely streamlined. To steer, it just uses these tiny micro adjustments in its feathers to change the airflow.
And the B-2 bomber does the same thing.
Almost exactly. It uses split brake rudders on the wing to create drag on one side to turn. No vertical tail.
So it's solving the same physics problem yaw control with the same engineering principle.
One just uses feathers, and the other uses hydraulics. And that really brings us to the core point of all these sources.
And nature isn't as chaotic as we think.
Exactly. When you break down the mechanics, the nasal shockwave breakers, the high hertz vision, the drag-based steering, you realize the wild isn't chaotic at all.
It's engineered.
It's optimized. It's a reminder that nature often wins through design and timing, not just through brute force.
Which leaves us with a final thought for you to chew on. If nature has perfectly engineered a bird to break speed limits with built-in jet intakes and slow-motion vision, what other perfect designs are hiding out there in plain sight that we just haven't noticed yet? Thanks for listening to this deep dive.